surviving instead of you thriving, right? It is very easy for you to coast along instead of you living abundantly and joyfully. And I just hope for you that you can be able to step up and be able to live in that kind of remarkable life which you're capable of living. So, the last thing that I want to talk a little bit about is about the importance of why it is that so many people do not believe in their ability for their dream to become a reality, for their dreams to become true. I think it's pretty obvious by now that if you've lived around this planet for about 20, 30 years, you've pretty much gathered by now that most people don't really get what they want. Okay? We just don't. Now, there are obviously loads of reasons. Me and you could go and recite loads of reasons. Some people are lazy. Some people don't put in the work. Some people don't have the resources. Some people just don't care. Some people are inconsistent. We could go on and on and on about the reasons why. But I think it's pretty significant to say that one of the major roadblocks that stops a lot of people getting what they want in life is that most people don't really believe that what is possible for them. And I don't know, you may be disagreeing with me and saying, well, Kasim, that's not true. Loads of people do believe that what is possible for them. Is it? How many people? Because I always say, as I've said in a previous, earlier on, in one of the other topics, you've got to be able to do the maths. Part of doing the maths is that you've got to look at it. You've got to look at reality. And I ask you to look at, can you honestly say that the most of the people that you know, most of them are living the life that they wanted to live? That most people designed their destiny and didn't settle for their fate? Can you honestly say that? And I think that if you are honest with yourself, the reality of life is that most of us don't really have what we want. Our life doesn't match it. Because if somebody honestly really believed that anything was possible for them, their life would be able to prove it. They'll be dreaming big, they'll be going after their dreams, they'll be working diligently, they'll be equipping themselves with the right teams, with the right equipment, with the right resources, with the right knowledge. I mean, you can see it, right? When someone is aiming in a certain direction, their behavior is congruent with their vision. And what I would share with you, and it's something that I would ask you to think about, is I think that one of the big reasons why a lot of people don't really believe that their dreams can become a reality is because a lot of people aren't prepared to change to get what they want. Because if you think about this, a lot of us, when we think about our dreams, when we think about our goals, when we think about the visions that we have, or even the better future that we can have, it is so far-fetched from where we are today that for the average person, we just think, well, that's not who I am. And instead of saying, well, okay, if that's not who I am, I can become that person, the average person says, well, that's not who I am, and then they stop. And now we're getting into, of course, what makes the difference between a winner and a loser. Because what makes the difference between a winner and a loser is that a winner obviously never quits. And quitting can be expanded to say that when somebody quits, what essentially they say is that I am not prepared to make the necessary sacrifices that are required in order for me to win. Whilst the winner says, in spite of the fact that I'm going to have to make sacrifices, I know that those sacrifices in the long haul will be beneficial for me. And as a result, I will make them because the goal is so much greater than the sacrifices that I'm going to have to make along the way. And what I would share with you, as I say, and I would ask you to think about, is I would ask you to think about if you've really been prepared to change to get what you want. If you've really been making the relevant changes in your attitude, in your philosophy, in your thinking, in your knowledge, in your skill set, in your ideology, can you honestly really say that you genuinely have made those changes in yourself? Because I say this to you because this was really the thing that got me onto this track of wanting to help people, wanting to motivate people, wanting to inspire people. It was the fact that I realized that in order for things to change, I was going to have to change. In order for things to improve in my life, I was going to have to improve. In order for things to get better in my life, I had to get better. The emphasis is on me. Something had to change about me in order for me to get the things that I wanted. And we're living in this world where I think so many people have the capacity and the potential to really live the most remarkable lives. I think you can live the most remarkable life, genuinely. That's part of the reason why I'm so passionate and I'm so driven and I do these videos and I do the podcasts, because I genuinely believe that people are so remarkable and people are so special and people can just honestly do the most remarkable things if they will just believe in themselves, if they would just believe in their ability to figure things out, if they would believe in their ability that if they changed, if they made the sacrifices, that they would be okay. And if you actually look at reality and you look at a lot of people and you look at a lot of us, we don't think that we will be fine if we take the leap. We don't think that we'll be fine if we be single. We don't think that we'll be fine if something is difficult and we try to do something which is difficult. And I wonder whether you have been living such a life where you have been, there is this phrase that I read where it said something on the lines of, don't let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game. So many of us have been living our lives from a space where we're so scared of failing, so scared of being seen to starting small, being so scared of things not working out that it is paralyzed our desire, it is paralyzed our dreams, it is paralyzed our ambitions. And honestly, we could make such a difference if we were able to go out there and start that business and go out there and get educated, go out there and start that team, go out there and start that group that we want to start. And I want to ask you to really ask if what you say is not possible isn't really as possible as what you say, because I think it's a lot more possible than what you make out to be. But I think there's so many mental roadblocks that you've given yourself. You've almost talked to yourself. No, I know you've talked yourself out of succeeding. You've talked yourself